Hi viewers, let's speak something about speaking today. Although all of us communicate our ideas, our thoughts, our emotions, our opinions, some of us feel that others are great, others are better, their standard of communication is higher. Why do we feel so? Is it because their grammar is good? Is it because they use hi fi vocabulary? Is it because of their confidence? Is it because they have come prepared with their content? Maybe all of these contribute in a great way. But in addition to all this, there is a small aspect called appropriateness. We must understand that there are small words, there are small phrases, there are small pieces of elements in language that we should use appropriately. Otherwise, we either sound uninteresting or we sound ineffective or sometimes we become funny and meaningless. So, in this video, I am going to explain something called sentence starters. Some of the sentence starters are I think, I feel, I believe, I doubt, I'm sure, I'm afraid, I wonder, and so on. Unfortunately, most of us use these sentence starters inappropriately in our sentences. If they are used properly, they make sense and they add value to your speech. If we don't, our speech becomes meaningless and funny. Let's see how they should be used properly. In this series, let's begin with the first one, I guess. I'm sure all of you use the phrase I guess many a times in our daily life. We must use I guess when we are predicting something without any logic or intelligence or no calculations involved in this. It's purely based on the previous behavior or action of some person or some things. For example, something like I guess she will not come now. It's already late. So you're just guessing without collecting any information. You neither called her up, you did not inquire about her, nothing. You are just guessing it based on no evidence, based on no proof, based on no research. You are just guessing it because she had not come beyond this point of time previously also. So you are just guessing that she will not come now. You may just say the fourth wave of COVID, I guess the fourth wave of COVID will not be so dangerous. You are again using I guess the fourth wave of COVID will not be dangerous, even though you are not a doctor, you are not a scientist, you are not an expert in pandemic aspects. You are just guessing based on how the dangerous or how the harmfulness of the pandemic decreased in the past 3 waves. Based on that, you are just guessing. So when you use I guess, you are simply making an assumption or you are simply predicting it without any great intelligence, without any great research involved here. So I guess must be used when you are purely predicting without any base. You are just guessing it based on the previous behavior or actions of someone or something. The other major sentence starters that we use most frequently in our speech is I think. We use I think most of the times in our speech without our knowledge. But the difference between I guess and I think is the research or the calculation or the prediction is purely based on some facts and figures in I think. When you should use I think when you have made enough thinking or enough search, enough research, enough study of facts and figures or enough experience and so on. For example, I can just say, I think the petroleum prices are still going to hike. When I say this, we can use I think only when you have made enough research because of the war that has been taking place between two neighboring countries. So we can just say the petroleum prices are going to increase because they are the major suppliers. So you have some figures ready, you have some facts ready, you have studied them, and based on that you are making an assumption or you are just making a statement that I think the petroleum prices are going to increase. You can just say I think he is not going to pass the exam. So you are saying I think he is not going to pass the exam not just out of random thought. You are just telling it because you have seen his study pattern, you have seen how careless he was all these days, you have seen how he was failing continuously all these days and how he has not prepared at all for the exams. Based on these observations, you are just saying I think he is not going to pass the exam. So I think must be used when you are making an intellectual decision, when you are making some research, when you have thought about it, and then you are making a statement. We must use I think. Another mistake that we do with I think is saying I think so followed by again some statement here. For example, I think so he is not going to come. No, this is not the right way of saying. When you say I think so, period, there ends the sentence. So itself, the word so itself acts as the placeholder of some statement. For example, if someone says, I think he is stuck in traffic, he cannot come. If they say it, and if you want to approve that statement, you can also say I think so. So I think so, so itself indicates he is stuck in traffic and he can't come. You are just repeating the same by saying so. The word so acts as a placeholder for the previous statement or previous thought. You don't have to again add I think so he is not going to come. I think so she is busy. I think so he is not going to pass the exam. No, that's not right. When you say I think so, there ends the sentence and there is where you should put a period. Don't say I think so again followed by some other explanation or statement. Our next sentence starter is I feel. We should use I feel as the word itself indicates when there is feeling involved in it, when something emotional about it. So if you are expressing something that is related to emotions, not intelligence, then you must use I feel. I feel you should have taken care of your grandparent in a better way. So taking care of a grandmother is an emotional aspect, and you are feeling that you did not do it well, you should have done it. So I feel you should have taken care of your grandmother in a better way. You can just say, I feel your mother needs more sensitive treatment than before. Here we are just trying to compare the happenings before and after, and now we are feeling, that is an emotional feeling that says now I feel now you should take care of your mother in a better way compared to earlier years. So feel is something that is always connected to emotions, so we cannot use with intellectual aspects like exams, like jobs, and like any other intellectual decisions or any other intellectual predictions. We cannot use the word feel. We should use feel only in such circumstances. I feel you should have taken care of your mother in a better way. I feel your grandparents should have been looked after in a better way. So something like this, we should use the word I feel. Another important sentence starters that most of the times when we use is I hope, we hope, etc. So hope is another sentence starter that is used for some wishful thinking, some positive aspect here. So we always use this for something that is going to happen in future and we are not sure about it, but we are just positive that it should happen. When we want something good to happen to either ourselves or to our loved ones, we use I hope. Okay, so I hope should be always used in a positive perspective. It cannot be used for negative perspectives here. So we just wish something to happen, but something to happen should be always good. So we do not have any thought process behind it. We do not have any calculations behind it, no facts. We are just hoping that something good should happen here. For example, I hope that he will recover soon. We are not doctors. We do not know his health conditions. We are just hoping, we are praying something good should happen to him. So we should say, I hope he will recover soon. We do not know the real condition, but we are just hoping. It's just a wishful thinking here. So hope is something that should be used always positively. We cannot use it with a negative aspects here. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that he will pass this time. So we do not know his performance. We do not know how he has prepared for this exam. Nothing. We just want to have a positive expectation. We are just saying we hope. So after I hope, you hope, we hope, let's hope, always some action that is going to happen in future will be followed here. Okay, never use it with any negative aspect here, because sometimes I have seen people using it with negative things or with something like I guess, or I think. I guess, these can be used with either positive or negative things. But when it comes to I hope should be always used in a proper way. Something like, I mean, I have used in a very funny way that people, I have seen people using something like, I hope he is suffering from fever. I hope he is suffering from fever. I hope he has to, I mean, he cannot recover for next 10 days. I hope he cannot recover for next 10 days. How disastrous it is. So I hope it should indicate something positive to happen. When you say, I hope he is not going to recover for next 10 days, is not a right way. You should have, I mean, you have seen his condition, maybe based on that you are making this prediction. But I hope is not the right way of telling it. You should have said, I think he is not going to recover in next 10 days. So I think can be used with either positive or negative. You are using I think because you have seen his condition, you have seen his medical reports, you have seen that he is not properly responding or he is not responding fast to the treatment. Based on all these facts, you are making a statement that he needs some more time. He needs at least 10 more days to recover from his illness. But instead of using I think, if you use I hope, that gives completely a different meaning. If you say I hope he is not going to recover for next 10 days, it simply means that you are wishing for that. You don't want him to recover for next 10 days. That's what it means. So be careful when you are using the sentence starters. I think should be used in this case properly, but instead if you use I hope, that gives a completely different meaning. Our next sentence starter is I wish. Although I wish and I hope are more confusing, we can clearly mark or we can clearly draw a line between I wish and I hope. Simple difference is I hope is always used with something that is going to happen in future in a good way. That's where we use I hope. I wish is used for something that we do not have but we wanted that to have. I wish I were a billionaire. So it's always followed by a past tense, a sentence in the past tense. I wish I were a billionaire. I wish I had a red car. I wish I had studied computer science. So after I wish, usually something that you do not have but you wanted to have comes next. So I wish is used in this way, in one way. When you use I wish with others, you may probably sound a little sarcastic or complaining or something like that. For example, I wish you were more polite. It simply means you are pointing out at their mistake, saying, I wish you were more polite. I wish you were rich enough to buy that car. I wish you were strong to face that condition, face that situation. So, in these cases, you are pointing out at their mistake or their helplessness or their inability. So, I wish is always followed by a sentence, probably in the past tense, and when you use it with yourself, you are trying to indicate you wanted to have something but you do not have. When you usually use it with others, you are either showing their helplessness or their inability or their weakness or anything like that. So be careful in using I wish and I hope in a proper way here. I hope should be always used with the positive aspects, but I wish can be used for either negative or positive. But great meaning, I mean the big marker here is I hope is always used, is always followed by a sentence in the future tense. I wish is usually followed by the sentence in the past tense. The next one is I wonder. I wonder, though it's not so frequently used, but most of the native English speakers use I wonder here. I wonder can be used in three different ways. The first way of using I wonder is to express praising or how amazed you are. Okay, so if you admire something so greatly, or if you are feeling something is so great, to express that you wonder, you say I wonder. For example, I wonder how could you write so well. I wonder how could he deliver such a great speech. I wonder how could he climb such a tall building. So I wonder always expresses your praising when you are surprised, when you are amazed to see something and you want to express your praising. The second way of using I wonder is to politely request for something. Okay, instead of using the word please, we can use the word I wonder. For example, I wonder is followed by if here in this case. I wonder if you could please lend your pencil for some time. I wonder if you could tell the address, show the address. So here I wish, I wonder followed by if is used always for always to ask something in a very polite way here. Okay. One more one more way of using I wonder is to express uncertainty. When you're not sure of something, we can use I wonder. For example, I wonder if the tea stalls are open at this time. I wonder if medical stores are, I wonder if doctors are available at this time. So, I wonder is used to express your own uncertainty when you're not sure about something. We can use I wonder here. So, I wonder is firstly used to express a surprise or how amazed you are, or when you want to praise something. In the second way, I wonder followed by if is used as please to request something. And in the third way, I wonder is used to express the uncertainty or the doubt you have. When you're not sure of something, you can say, I wonder if tea stalls are open at this time of the night. Okay. So let's use I wonder in a right way. Now I'm going to speak about two interesting sentence starters that sound opposite at the surface, but they are same at the root level. They are I doubt and I believe. So on the surface they look like opposite words. Belief is opposite of doubting. But if you look at them closely, they mean the same. If you believe something or if you doubt something, it simply means that you are not aware of that completely or you are not sure of that. I can believe only something that I have never seen or I have never touched or never experienced. I just believe it blindly. Similar is a doubt. When I doubt something, I do not know completely about this. I just doubt about it. If I've seen, if I have experienced, I would say I know. Why would I say I believe or I doubt? So I doubt and I believe both are the sentence starters which are used when you are not sure of something. Okay. So they should be used in a proper way, or when you do not know about anything and when you are not sure about anything, and if you still want to speak about that, you just use I believe or I doubt. The only difference is we use I believe when you want to have a hope, when you want to be positive. When you want to sound negative, you can use I doubt. I'm not saying doubt is a negative word, but here in this context, when you are actually want to present some point in a negative or to indicate that it is not going to happen, it is impossible, it is unlikely to happen, then you can use I doubt. When you do not know something is going to happen, but still you want to keep the hope and you think that it's going to happen, you can use I believe. For example, I believe we have taken the right road that reaches the village. So if someone is lost in a forest and they've just randomly walked a path, and to express their hope, they can say, I believe we have taken the right route that reaches that takes us to the village. So here the person is not sure that whether this route will take him to the village or not, but still he is saying that I believe we have taken the right route. On the other hand, there may be another person who expresses in a different way, I doubt this route will not take us to the village. Okay. Even this fellow doesn't know whether this route is going to take or not. He doesn't have any evidence, any proof, any calculation, nothing, any experience, but he is doubting that this route will not take him to the village. So both of them do not know whether this route will take them to the village, but one is saying the same thing using I believe and one more says I doubt. You can choose your way. I'm afraid is our next sentence starter. This is interesting because most of us misunderstand this. I am afraid is a sentence starter that has nothing to do with fear. Although we associate the word afraid with fear or scared, so here when it is used as a sentence starter, it has nothing to do with fear or scariness. It simply means that you are going to give some information that is not welcomed or that is not accepted or that is not favorable to the person who is listening to it. For example, if a customer walks in to a mobile phone shop, and he asks for certain model of a phone, then the shopkeeper or the salesman can tell it in a very polished way saying, I'm afraid the model you're asking for is not in stock. It simply means instead of, it could have been told that no, this model is not available, you can come later or it comes after some days or something like that. But instead, the most polished way of saying it is by adding I'm afraid. That's where many of the native English speakers differ from speakers for whom English is a second language, ESL, English as second language. So they use certain sentence starters like I'm afraid. I'm afraid this model is not available right now. So I'm afraid simply says that I'm going to give you some information that is not desirable to you, that is not in your favor. Or something say when a patient is brought to a hospital on some emergency basis, the attendants there or the hospital staff may say, I know it's an emergency case, I'm afraid doctor will not be available till 9 o'clock. So here I'm afraid doctor will not be available till 9 o'clock is the sentence, is the piece of information that he wanted to communicate, but before that he is using the word I'm afraid. I'm afraid simply means he is helpless, he can't do anything about it. So we have to accept the truth that doctors will not be available till 9 o'clock. So it could have been told in a different way, saying doctors are not available, you can just take them to a different hospital or you can wait. But instead of saying that, by adding the word I'm afraid, it adds meaning. It may not change the conditions, but it makes the sentence much better. So I'm afraid is used when you are helpless about doing something, or when you are conveying some piece of information that is not expected or that is not favorable to the person who is listening to it. Only when you use the word of after I'm afraid, then it indicates your fear. I'm afraid of the wild animals, I'm afraid of ghosts, etc. So only when you use with of, then it indicates your fear. Otherwise, when you use only I'm afraid with its as a sentence starter, it simply means your helplessness or some undesirable piece of information. I'm going to conclude with the last sentence starter called I'm sure. I'm sure you use I'm sure most of the times. You use I'm sure, as the name itself indicates, when you are very certain about something. Okay, so whether it is out of your gut feeling, whether it is out of your studies, or whether it is out of your thorough preparation or something like that, when you know something is going to happen without any deviation, you are going to use I'm sure. Okay. So, but some of the people make mistakes when they are using sure. When they use sure, I'm sure, the information or the sentence that is followed by the sentence starter I'm sure must be complete. There should not be any dilemma in it, there should not be any confusion, there should not be any doubtfulness about it. You cannot say I'm sure he may come tomorrow. Never use the word may when you are already using I'm sure. I'm sure indicates your certainty, your confidence, and again he may come tomorrow just indicates the probability. He may, when you say he may come, it indirectly or it implicitly means he may not come. There is another possibility that he may not come. When you are not sure about something, you either just say he may come tomorrow, or you just say I'm sure he will come tomorrow. When you say he will come tomorrow, you are almost sure. I mean, not almost sure, you are sure that he is going to come here. So never use I'm sure with something like may, or something that likely, or something unlikely, or some so all these things. I cannot say I'm sure he may come tomorrow. No. I cannot say I'm sure he is likely going to purchase this car. He is likely going to purchase this car indicates again, so I am almost convinced, or I almost know that he is going to purchase this car, but I am not sure. So here I am not sure can be used in such cases. I am not sure if he is going to purchase this car is the right way, but you can't say I am sure he is most likely going to purchase this car. Most likely is not surety. So when you say I am sure, you should be sure. When you are sure, you use this with something that is going to happen, not again with may or likely or unlikely and all these things here. So with this, I am just going to conclude about these sentence starters. I think or I guess you have understood whatever is explained in this, and I hope you will use them in a better way from now. Thank you.